Mr. Dalton, welcome to the role. Once again, we have a novella expanded into film form, and thankfully for the last time. The Living Daylights, which is the basis for the film, is from the aforementioned Octopussy and the Living Daylights. Meanwhile, John Glenn steps back into the director's chair for this 15th entry into the Bond franchise, released in 1987 and starring Timothy Dalton, who has taken over for Roger Moore, who was frankly getting too old for the part. The novella focuses on Bond keeping a lookout on Checkpoint Charlie to make sure that an MI6 operative with valuable information on Russian missile tests and tech gets back across safely. The agent does so, but instead of eliminating the KGB sniper like he was supposed to, Bond merely spooks her. So that setup is used as a jumping-off point for the rest of the film. But first, the seeds for the possible return of Smersh are laid in the pre-credit sequence. Some MI6 trainees, including Bond, are on a training mission on Gibraltar, but they're hunted down by an assassin who leaves a smeared spionum note on one of the corpses, and smeared spionum roughly translates to death to spies. But sadly, that's only a MacGuffin, so Smersh not returning. The reveal of the female sniper plays with gender roles and expectations. All those briefed on the mission believe the sniper to be a male, but the sniper uses an all-female orchestra practicing at a concert hall as her cover, and her identity is only revealed when Bond sees her through his scope, and then proceeds to shoot her weapon instead of eliminating her. So instead of getting an MI6 agent back across, the mission is to get Koskov, a defecting Soviet official, across the border safely using a cleared oil pipeline. But unfortunately, his defection is a ruse. Long story short, he's involved in opium smuggling in Afghanistan to finance weapons for both the Afghans and the Russians, thanks to Whitaker, a West Point dropout warmongering weapons dealer who's played by Joe Don Baker. But unfortunately, or maybe ironically I should say, he's killed by a bust of Wellington. Wait, a Cold War film with a locale that's culturally and politically relevant? How's that for grounding? The novella has a few things worth looking at, like the novel Bond reads during his mission downtime and the sniper's cello. Bond's novel has images of half-naked and restrained women on the cover. Should that sound familiar? Maybe? No? Perhaps? And the lead female protagonist is a ruined character, and that could possibly reflect upon all the damaged or flawed women whom Bond has saved or rescued or redeemed through his flings in the past. And Bond describes the cello as a bulbous and ungainly instrument placed between the cellist's splayed thighs. I'm gonna leave it at that. But is the fact that Bond isn't as much of a womanizer in this film as he's been in previous films a sign that the character and the films are changing with the times? Here's hoping. I mean, he only has two known flings in the movie, a random woman in the pre-credit sequence, and Kara. Kara, played by Mariam Diabo, is a naive yet trusting violinist who kind of falters once when Koskov, her former lover, tells her that Bond is a KGB agent out to kill her. Oh, and Caroline Bliss replaces the late Lois Chiles as Moneypenny, and she actually has a British accent for once. And she still flirts with Bond and is apparently into Barry Manilow now. While the previous films have taken liberties with the mobile or foreign or traveling MI6 offices, this film actually keeps them pretty grounded, apart from M's office in a plain cargo bay before the training mission. And we actually see the inner offices for once, and they look fairly modern. And there are, of course, the secondary and minor characters. Pushkin, played by Gimli, is Gogo's replacement, and Bond helps him fake his death to get Koskov off his scent. Felix Leiter returns and is played this time around by John Terry, or Christian Shepherd from Lost, and he's on a similar mission, which is staking out Whitaker. And Cameron is a Mujahideen leader and Oxford student, or former Oxford student, who Bond teams up with after Bond rescues him from a Soviet airbase prison. And with Cameron, you have the return of the exotic, as he, of course, has the Afghan freedom fighter background, but the Oxford education. The stunt and chase sequences have more of a realistic feel to them, like the training mission on Gibraltar, the rooftop chase in Tangier, and the battle in the Afghan desert. However, things like the KGB escape and the final fight in the cargo bay of a DC-18 strain credibility, yet they do seem rather plausible. And as you can see from the locales, which also include Czechoslovakia and Vienna, this film returns Bond to more of a European globe-hopping sensibility, which was lacking from the last film, which was mostly in France and California. The gadgets are restrained, more subtle, yet still cool, as Bond actually has his spy skills and training to fall back on. The tricked-out Aston Martin makes a return, even though Bond had a regular and reliable Bentley in the novels. He also has a key fob with whistle triggers. But the fact is, all those gadgets packed into the car make it seem rather unrealistic because of space issues. It's not bigger on the inside. So, in my opinion, The Living Daylights is a definite improvement upon the fluctuating style and feel of the Moore era. Dalton shines as he brings more human qualities and a hint of roughness and darkness to Bond's personality that Moore really didn't bring. And the globe hopping and stunts definitely hold up 25 years down the line, even with music from Aha and the Pretenders. Next week, Bond has a vendetta against a Mexican drug cartel. You think he'll sample some of the product? We'll see next week.